To ponder on that.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be, 78 degrees.
That's true. Get a little hurricane
Yeah,
sign.
hurricane
Yeah, something
sign.
like that. Yeah. I know so many things going on in New Orleans, and this weekend we actually got really nice weather for it. 78 degrees right now in New Orleans. And as we were saying, our humidity cut back nicely this weekend. I mean, it's not October kind of feeling, but hey, it's a little bit less humid, so a lot of us will take it. Temperatures right now in the 70s. That dew point, remember, it's a way that we measure humidity. That usually is in the 70s, even way into the 70s in the summer, but it got cut back mostly into the 60s this weekend. Just to our north, it's actually in the 50s. So that's that nice dry feel getting almost to us. And we got in on a little bit of that for this weekend. And the good thing is tonight, still pretty good. North Shore lows, upper 60s to about 70. If you're south of the lake, mainly middle 70s for overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, still kind of hot. Our highs this weekend have been in the lower 90s, but we'll hang on to that slight break in the humidity. Only a slight chance for a shower tomorrow, maybe 10% or so chance of rain. This is our forecast for tomorrow. So a lot of sun, still kind of hot. The evening, though, pretty pleasant in the 80s with that slightly drier feel. Now by Tuesday, you'll notice the humidity edging up a little bit more, and that'll be the case into the end of the week. Not crazy, soupy, muggy humidity, but a little more than we saw this weekend. And note the rain chance increasing as well to about 30%. That's about as high as I have it for any day this week, and I actually have it into the weekend as well, because we'll get another weak surface front moving through from the north, pushed by a trough of low pressure. So we will see how much rain we're able to get, but each day it does look like it'll be spotty in nature, only about 30%. This is Hurricane Lee getting into the tropics now. It is back to a Category 3 storm with its winds at 120 miles per hour, much higher gusts though. Moving northwest, not nearly as fast as it was moving before, and it's doing that movement that we were expecting, that slowing down as that high has dropped out and sort of left it with not much steering at the moment, but it will get a turn to the north. Note by the end of the week, it will still be off the coast of the U.S., but there may be some beach effects along the coast, some big swells, maybe some coastal flooding, some coastal erosion, and it looks like right now it'll pass to the west of Bermuda. And actually look at the models in very, very good agreement on passing to the west of Bermuda and then eventually moving into the Canadian Maritimes. Likely, though, by that point as a much weaker system over these cooler waters and also a bit more wind shear and a bit of transition of the storm by that point. So again, some minimal effects or some possibly a bit more effects along the coastline of New England, but eventually I think this storm will be more like a strong tropical storm equivalent or maybe a Category 1 equivalent when it does eventually move into the Canadian Maritimes. Of course, we'll keep you updated, a lot of time on that, but here's the big trough moving into the northeast U.S., pulling it off to the north, and then actually another little trough kind of following behind, pulling that system way off to the north. So not a threat for the Gulf or the Caribbean. There's also Tropical Storm Margot. There's another spot that was an invest, but now only a slight chance of developing, not looking promising or like it's going to develop. And one more wave has a 50% chance of development, but models are taking this one out to the north as well, not bringing it into the Caribbean Sea. So we'll take that where we are in the Gulf of Mexico to not have anything moving into the Gulf as we move into this part of hurricane season. Today is the peak of hurricane season. If that spot does develop, it would likely get the name Nigel. That's next on the list. September 10th, we've made it to the peak of the season. From here on out, our activity will likely be going downward. But of course, we still have 3-4 or so weeks to watch everything really closely before those numbers drop off a little more drastically toward the end of October and November. So still watching, but no threats. Your average heat is expected this week, not extreme as far as the heat goes, and by the weekend, maybe even some upper 80s.
After 9